My name is Amy, and my channel is GameNChick. I've been doing my channel since 2009 roughly, but I never got serious with it till around 2012 when I started doing more gaming playthroughs, trailer edits, and it's also when I began making creepypasta videos based off of the story Been Drowned and literally scared the living crap out of people. Those were some really fun comments to read. When doing these creepypasta videos is when I truly began to see my creative nature begin to flourish really as time went on. As my creativity began to show itself, it allowed me to put more of me as a person into my content going forward and gave me the confidence to do what I currently do now, which is work with some amazing companies that I only dreamt about working with as a kid growing up. What made me decide to start my channel? Are you sure you want to know? The story of my channel is not for the faint of heart, but like most stories worth telling, it all began... Okay, no, I'm not Spider-Man.
Trash, bro.
But my story isn't exactly a happy reason as to why my channel started, though. I have a long history with mental health and depression, so I'm always trying to find avenues to get away from my problems or to take my mind elsewhere. YouTube just happened to be that pathway for me. After the passing of my grandma, which I had a lot of trouble dealing with, I made my channel on May 5th, 2009, and the first thing I had put up was my own WrestleMania Dream Match card, where the computers play in a large tournament to see who would win. It was pretty boring, but it was my way to vent. After realizing the impact just creating content actually did for me, I continued it. Some hits and misses here and there, some weird and borderline insanity videos that will make some people scratch their head, but it was me, and that was enough. I was never nervous about making videos per se, not until I started reviewing, that is. Regular videos such as playthroughs or basic editing has never been something that I've stressed or been nervous over. But the one thing that has always made me nervous was putting myself out there, like literally me out there. I went for roughly 10 years of people constantly telling me, hey, when are you gonna start talking? Hey, when are you doing Let's Plays or reviews? Are you a mute? You know, that type of badgering. It wasn't until the end of 2020 when I finally got the confidence enough to put it all on the line and go for it by working with 2K Sports on WWE 2K Battlegrounds. This was a huge step for me, and one that has paid off immensely in the years that have followed. Choosing what subject my channel would cover has always been an easy one. My passion since I was a little kid in the 90s has always been gaming. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is what it is. Now, did I ever think that I'd make it this far into where I am now? Absolutely not. If you told me back in 2017, as I was sitting around texting on my phone during PlayStation Experience, that in 2 years' time I'd become a PlayStation partner, become a part of the 2K Creator and Influencer program, work with industry players like Electronic Arts, Activision, WB Games, Microsoft, Sega, Ubisoft, Bethesda, I would have thought you were nuts. I've gotten to work on some of the industry's biggest companies on their respective franchises and IPs, and it's really been a blessing. I never would have dreamed I'd have my own mascot skin in a video game too. Who would have thought that it would all start with one indie developer giving me a chance? Keen Games and 505 Games helped me get my foot in the door. They made it easy to make the long-term decision on the subject of my channel. I'll always be thankful for that opportunity from them. The full story of how that came about is actually a really funny story, but that's for another time. Oh man, the most joyful event from my YouTubing? That's an extremely hard one to talk about, because there's so many that have been joyous occasions. From 2K Games working with me on WWE 2K Battlegrounds to make it my first ever review on the channel, to working with Ubisoft on their biggest IPs like Far Cry and Rainbow Six, as well as new IPs such as Immortals Phoenix Rising, working with EA for the first time, becoming a PlayStation partner and working on some of their biggest IPs like Uncharted, Horizon, and Gran Turismo. Also a treat was being able to work with a company like Square Enix, who played a huge part of my childhood with the Final Fantasy series, and even getting the opportunity to review the remake of my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, Final Fantasy VII, and many other IPs like Balan Wonderworld, Nier, and the list goes on and on. I've gotten opportunity after opportunity that has brought joy to me. Like working with Sega, another company that has solidified my childhood, on Sonic the Hedgehog, working with Activision on Call of Duty, working with Bethesda on Doom and Ghostwire Tokyo. I could be a broken record all day. But beyond the mainstream opportunities, I think the proudest I've been has been in relation to my work with the indie industry. I touched upon it briefly by bringing up King Games, and that's where it all started. Sitting on my phone at PSX 2017, and I had emailed them about working on their title called Portal Knights. Of course, at that point, I had never reviewed anything. I've written, sure, but never gaming reviews. I never expected to hear back, but lo and behold, they responded and gave me an opportunity by providing me the game. This stuck with me more than you think, because here I am, a nobody, and an indie developer extends their hand to me to give me a shot. Now, I wasn't exactly prepared either. I literally didn't even have a website. I remember finishing my review and posting it on Twitter, and then they emailed me back. "Hey, how's the review coming along?" And I was like, oh crap. I'll send it right over. This in turn made me stay up all night creating my own website from scratch just to get them my review, and I acted like everything was cool. I'm super smooth, right? But again, this is what pushed my channel to focus more on indie titles going forward. Either reviewing or playing them, it's been a big part of my channel going forward. I love being able to work with the industry up-and-comers, seeing their creativity, outside-the-box thinking, their dedication, and their passion. And if I can help promote them, get their game out there, help them boost their sales numbers, and overall get their games out there in the eyes of dozens or hundreds of more viewers who are potential buyers, then I'm happy. This is why another accomplishment I love is when I joined the Indie Game Collective, a group of content creators who work in hive mind to play, promote, and share info and gameplay of games that these indie developers make and work side by side with them. It's truly been a privilege to be able to be a part of not only IGC, but to work with so many people. There are still certain things I want to accomplish going forward. Right now, my immediate goals are to keep continuing what I'm doing by working with industry leaders, dedicating my channel to showcasing a plethora of indie games, improving my own review style and production, etc. But long-term goal, I want to continue growing my brand to new heights, gaining new opportunities, work with companies that have so far been out of reach to me, like Bandai, Capcom, and Nintendo. Those three are my driving force to work with. While also improving and strengthening my relationship with the indie community, on top of Activision, EA, WB, Square Enix, Sega, Ubisoft, 2K, Microsoft, PlayStation, and everyone else who I've had the privilege to have a working relationship with. I want to keep improving and moving myself forward no matter what. For anyone that would happen to be watching this, if you're into content creation and not really sure what direction you want to go in, I say stick to your strengths. Whether it be gaming, sports, cars, music, whatever it is you love to do or talk about, do it. Far too many times I've seen content creators, friends, and just others I've associated with have dictated what they make and how they make it. They start making content for what someone else wants and not what truly makes them happy. This is a toxic cycle that only leads down the path of self-destruction and will ultimately lead you to a dead end where you just aren't having any fun or give up on your passion completely. So if you are one of those people getting into content creation, whatever the subject, make it for you and you only. People will embrace you for you as long as you're genuine. I truly believe that. So now that you know maybe a little too much about me, it's safe to say that I've worn out my welcome. My name is Amy, aka GameNChick, and I'll see you chickadees on the flip side.